Good evening, everybody. From Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, we bid you welcome to Reds baseball. The Reds and the Atlanta Braves wrapping up the two-game series tonight in Cincinnati, hoping to take both ends after an 8-2 conquest behind the fine pitching of rookie lefty Charlie Leibrandt last night. Tom Seaver will go out after his third win of the year against Braves right-hander Rick Matula. And we'll be back to take a look at the starting lineups in just a moment. If you're ready now, the starting lineups tonight. First for the Atlanta Braves, leading off and playing second base will be Glenn Hubbard. Batting second in center field, Dale Murphy. First baseman Chris Chambliss will bat third. Hitting fourth in right field, Gary Matthews. Batting number 5 at third base, Bob Horner. Hitting sixth, the left fielder, Jeff Burroughs. Bill Naharodny will catch and bat number 7. Hitting eighth at shortstop, Larvell Blanks. And batting ninth and pitching for the Braves, right-hander Rick Matula. Once again, going over the Braves batting order, it's Hubbard at second base, Murphy in center field, Chambliss at first base, Matthews in right field, Horner at third base, Burroughs in left, with Naharodny catching, Blanks at shortstop, and Matula on the mound. For Cincinnati, Dave Collins will lead off and play center field. Second baseman Junior Kennedy will bat in the second spot. Hitting third, right fielder Ken Griffey. Batting fourth at first base, Danny Dreesen. Ray Knight will hit fifth and play third base. Batting sixth in left field, George Foster. Johnny Bench will catch and bat number 7. Hitting eighth at shortstop, Dave Concepcion. And batting ninth, the Reds pitcher, right-hander Tom Seaver. Once again for the Reds, it's Collins in center field, Kennedy at second base, and Griffey in right field. Dreesen at first, Knight at third base, Foster in left field. The bottom third again will have Bench catching, Concepcion at short, and Seaver on the mound. They're shooting for his third victory of the season, with the first pitch misses down low for a ball, and this game is underway. Hubbard, a right-handed batter, hitting .295. He's a Brave second baseman. Has homered twice, has knocked in 7 runs. The 1-0 to him is swung on, and a fly ball hit into shallow left center. Dave Collins comes on and makes the catch, 1 away. Well, it'd be great to get this guy going. This is about the time last year that Tom Seaver started on that real tear that saw him win 14 of his last 15 decisions and going 16-6 on the year. And with the kind of quality pitching the Reds have gotten out of Charlie Leibrandt and Frank Pastore just about all season long, it would be great to get this man going. Here's Dale Murphy, the center fielder, low and away a ball. Murphy hitting at .272. He's homered 11 times and has driven in 30 runs last night. When hitless, as Charlie Leibrandt limited the Braves to only 3 base hits and not a 1 after the single by Burroughs in the 4th inning. 2 balls and no strikes. Reds with a record of 35-32. While the Braves have won 28 and lost 37. Seaver checks in with Bench and brings a 2-0 pitch on to Dale Murphy, and that pitch is swung on and hit back into deep right field. Ken Griffey at the wall, and it's out of here, a home run. Well, it doesn't take the Braves very long to get on the board against Tom Seaver, who has really given up his share of home runs this season. That's the 13th long ball that Seaver has thrown. And Murphy takes it out of here the other way, his 12th of the year, and the Braves lead 1-0.
Marty, it looked like a fastball up and out over the plate, and really this gives you an indication of the kind of power that Dale Murphy has. And we've watched him hit some mighty long baseballs against the Reds, and he's a youngster, and he's going to be a good one.
Here's Chris Chambliss now, another guy who's got the ability to hit it out on you. Seaver misses away. Chambliss, the top hitter average-wise on the Braves team at .305. He has hit 8 home runs and has driven in 35. Seaver kicks and throws. Chambliss takes it high and away. 2 balls and no strikes. So Hubbard flies out to start things. Murphy homers to right. And Seaver behind to Chambliss 2-0 with Gary Matthews, the cleanup batter, on deck and waiting. The pitch. That's on the inside, just above the knees for a call strike. It's 2-1. Reds have had super success against the Braves. They've beaten them now 9 times in the first 10 games between the two teams. Strike 2 call on the outside corner. So Seaver comes back against a left-handed batting Chambliss to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, a run in. And the 2-2 pitch. That's too low, and the count goes full. Tom, making his second start of the year against the Braves, was not involved in an April 20th decision down in Atlanta. Here's a swing and a fly ball hit to right. Ken Griffey coming in, and he puts it away, 2 out. We'll bring up right fielder Gary Matthews, hitting in the cleanup spot for the Braves. He's hitting .260. 6 home runs, 23 RBIs. 2 out, nobody on base here in the Atlanta first. Seaver checking his defensive alignment before coming to Matthews, a right-handed batter. Here's a pitch, and it's swung on and hit in the air to right center. Ken Griffey draws a beat on it, and short of the warning track, he hauls it in. The Braves in the first inning got a run on a hit. And after a half inning of baseball, it's Atlanta 1 and Cincinnati coming to bat. Right-hander Rick Matula looking to beat the Reds for the second time this season. Dave Collins leading it off. Collins takes it down and in a ball. Matula 5-5. And he shut out the Reds down in Atlanta for what was at that time the first loss of the season for Cincinnati. 2 balls and no strikes on Collins. Defeated Charlie Leibrandt by a score of 3-0. And a fine 293 earned run average. 2-0 to the plate, and that's ball 3. So Rick Matula a pitch away from putting Collins on base. And with the way this man has been running all season long, no pitcher wants to let him get on the easy way. Collins hitting 283. And he's on with a 4-pitch walk. This reminder, this copyrighted broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by Cincinnati Reds Incorporated solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Cincinnati Reds Incorporated is prohibited. The announcers on this broadcast are employed by the Cincinnati Reds Incorporated. Dave Collins talking with Coach Ronnie Plaza as he gets a walk on 4 pitches, a man who's stolen 29 this season in 31 attempts and had 2 stolen bases in the 8-2 win last night. Here's Junior Kennedy. The pitch to the plate is at the letters for a call strike. Kennedy hitting 292. He's homered 1 time and has driven in 25 runs. Matula turns and throws on to Chris Chambliss as Collins scampers back into the bag. Reds had 16 hits last night. Kennedy had 2 of them. He drove in a run and scored 1. He swings and lines one into the alley in left center field. That's a base hit. Over to cut it off is Dale Murphy as Collins moves to second base and holds right there. So a walk to Davy Collins, a base hit by Junior Kennedy. The Reds down by a run but threatening with 2 on and nobody out, and Ken Griffey in. Actually, Rick Matula has pitched well against the Reds twice this season. He did not allow an earned run in 15 innings in his first 2 starts. We mentioned that 3-0 complete game win over Leibrandt on the 18th of April in Atlanta, getting no decision on April the 12th here when he allowed 6 hits and an unearned run in 6 innings. He misses with his first pitch to Ken Griffey. Well, Griffey's average seemingly going up game by game. He's now hitting at 311. Corner shallow at third base. A pitch from Matula, and that's 2 balls and no strikes. And right now, Rick Matula digging himself a deeper and deeper hole. On deck is first baseman Danny Dreesen. The count 2-0 on hot-hitting Ken Griffey. The pause in the pitch. Griffey takes it inside, low, ball 3. Kenny with a 5-game hitting streak in which he has hit at a 500 clip, going 10 for 20, and has hit safely in 16 of his last 17. He's on with a walk, and the bases are loaded. Floyd Boyer, the Braves pitching coach, is going to go to the mound and talk with Matula.
Marty, normally Rick Matula, when he's right, or at least the games he's pitched against us this year, which he certainly has been right, he's down a lot. When I say down, pitching low, but to this point, he's been outside and high on several pitches. So I think Boyd probably just tried to calm him down a little bit and slow him down. He might be rushing himself a little.
Now we've got Collins at third base, Kennedy at second, Griffey at first, a walk, a single, and another base on balls, and the batter will be Danny Dreesen. Danny was out of the lineup last night with a sore wrist. He's batting at .278 with 8 homers and 35 runs knocked in. Manager Bobby Cox getting a right-hander loosening in his bullpen. We'll try and pick up the number for you and tell you who it is in just a moment. The table pretty much set here for Dreesen. The pitch to the plate is taken for a strike. Matula working out of the stretch, checks the runners, comes to the plate. Dreesen swings and sends a fly ball back into shallow left field. Going out blanks, coming in Burrows, and the shortstop will make the catch for out number 1. Danny Dreesen on a pop-up to shallow left field, and shortstop Larvell Blanks unable to deliver any runs home. With one out now, the batter will be third baseman Ray Knight. Knight with a couple of doubles last night to take over leadership in the National League. He now has hammered 22 this season. Pete Rose runner-up with 20, and Knight hitting .283, leads the club in RBIs with 39. So Rick Matula, after allowing the first three men to reach, now trying to come back and get the job done as he's popped Dreesen up, and he misses with a first pitch low and just outside tonight. Braves leading 1-0 on a first-inning home run by Dale Murphy. Knight swings and hits one back into deep left field, and he's got himself a grand slam home run. Ray Knight hits his second grand slam home run of 1980, and the Reds lead the Atlanta Braves 4-1. Broadcasting from the red seats again tonight, and we got them hooping and hollering up here. Ray Knight lights him up with a second pitch home run with the bases loaded, and the Reds lead by 3. 1 ball and 1 strike. Griffey against Rick Matula. The pitch swung on, line drive, base hit, center field. Seaver scores. They are going to hold Collins at third. And Griffey bangs home a run to make it 5-2. Bobby Cox out of the Braves dugout, and that probably is going to be all for Rick Matula. Here's Danny Dreesen with Collins at third base. Griffey at first, 1 out on a run-in. Hanna delivers. Dreesen takes ball 1. Danny popped up to shortstop in the first. And the Reds, who went after him offensively last night, showing signs they're going to do the same thing in this one. There goes Griffey. Swung on, base hit, left field. Collins will score. Kenny heading on to third base. The throw will go to second. Reds lead 6-2. Danny Dreesen singles in Dave Collins, and Griffey moving on the pitch goes all the way to third. That run also charged to Matula, and should Griffey score, you could close the book on him. Danny Dreesen with RBI number 36, and now Larvell Blanks running in from shortstop to talk to the new Braves pitcher as Ray Knight steps in. Grand slam home run of the first inning for Knight. Now hitting .286 with 8 homers and 43 RBIs. 2 on for him here in the second. He swings and bounces foul to coach Russ Nixon at third base. Bottom of the third at Philadelphia. Expos nothing. Phillies likewise. Montreal winning in extra innings last night. So the Expos continuing to, at least for the moment, fight off all challengers over there in the National League East. They now lead the Phillies by 2.5 and 4 over Pittsburgh, who has slumped badly of late. Infield looks for the ground ball as Hanna throws 1 strike pitch to the plate. Here's a base hit into left field. Ray Knight with his 5th run batted into the night. And the Reds now lead it by a score of 7-2. How can you account for one man picking on a particular ball club year after year? Last year, Ray Knight was simply devastating against the Braves. He now has driven in 10 runs against them this season. George Foster steps in as Dreesen moved to second base on the run-producing base hit to left. Close the book on Matula. He goes an inning and a third, gives up 5 hits and 7 runs, all earned, and walked 4. Foster takes ball 1. George got a walk in the first inning. Reds now with 7 hits. Seaver walked, Collins singled, Kennedy sacrificed. Griffey and Dreesen and Kennedy, or Knight rather, have all had base hits to drive in runs. And Foster halfway home toward his second walk as the count goes to 2-0. Only one out here in the second inning. The Reds got 4 in the first. They've scored 3 times here in the second. Foster way out in front on the pitch and gets a piece of it and fouls it away. We'll be in Busch Stadium in Indianapolis tomorrow night. Be on the air at 7:30 Cincinnati time with the pregame shows, and Bill Bonham will be starting against the Indianapolis Indians. Foster sends a fly ball into center field. Going back on it and making the catch is Dale Murphy. Danny Dreesen apparently lost track of the outs and was 3/4 of the way down to second base, and I mean styling, when Russ Nixon apparently got the message to him, and he hustled quickly back into second ahead of the throw. So Foster out on a fly to center. That brings up Johnny Bench, who had an infield hit to shortstop his first time to the plate. Well, we had 8 men go to the plate in the first inning. Bench becomes the 8th man to bat here in the second. 4-1. Hanna checks the runners, delivers, Bench swings, sends a fly ball back into deep right center field. Matthews at the wall, he makes the catch. Johnny Bench giving one a long ride, but not quite long enough. Matthews brings it down to the left of the 375 marker. But in the second, the Reds get 3 more runs on 4 more hits. No errors and 2 left. And after 2 completed Riverfront, the Reds 7, the Braves 2.
1-1 the count to Ken Griffey. Hanna delivers. Griff takes it high. 2 balls a strike. Concepcion at second. Collins at first with 2 out. And he has hit safely in 16 of his last 17 games. 2-1 delivery. Swung on. Line off the glove of Chris Chambliss. Here comes Concepcion. Glenn Hubbard backing up the play. On the third goes Collins. And it's a 8-3 ball game. Well, Chris Chambliss made a dive for the ball, got his glove on it, could not hang on, and Ken Griffey gets his second RBI of the game, the second base hit of the game, and it's an 8-3 score. Another very comfortable night here at Riverfront Stadium. Second night we've been in the red seats. Amp works. It's line to left field, a base hit. Charging is Burroughs. Foster being waved in by Russ Nixon, but George does not take the signal at all, and you'll wonder why. Russ Nixon waving Foster all the way, and all George did was turn and look and grab his right leg. Maybe he's having some leg trouble. Bench lines a single to left, and Foster moves to third, and the batter is Dave Concepcion. 11 hits now for the Reds. First pitch to Concepcion is outside and low ball. Davey 1 for 2. He takes down low from Camp, 2-0. Camp delivers the 2-0. David swings and sends it to left field, and again shading his eyes is Burroughs. Now tagging his Foster. He'll score easily, and it's a 9-3 ball game. Dave Concepcion picks up his 26th RBI with a sacrifice fly to left, scoring Foster from third. Number 41 pitcher, Thomas Seaver.
0-1 pitch. That's inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Montreal and the Phillies tied up at 1-1. They're in the 7th inning. Pirates and Cardinals scoreless after 3. Dodgers and Houston 2-2 in the top of the 3rd. Foster, Johnny Bench, and Davey Concepcion. Reds have had hits in every inning. Last inning was the first time they have failed to score. Low inside, 2 balls and a strike. Foster stepping out after every pitch, making Camp wait. 2-1 on the way. Foster out in front, bounces it foul, and that'll carry on into the Atlanta dugout. Braves will be flying on to San Diego. Reds will be in Indianapolis tomorrow night. Bill Bonham will face the AAA Indians in the 8 o'clock start. Cincinnati time. We'll have the pregame shows for you, as per usual, 1/2 hour earlier. Whoa, that one sailing over the head of Foster and all the way back to the screen. And I think Paul Pryor might have warned, he has in fact warned Rick Camp. And now he gestures to the Reds dugout, turns and gestures to Bobby Cox in the Atlanta dugout. An official warning has been lodged against Rick Camp for throwing at George Foster. Well, the count goes to 3-2. Here's a payoff pitch. Foster takes ball 4. He starts down the line as Camp walks in toward the plate. Foster flips the bat away and now jogs on to first base. Now, Rick Camp has issued his second base on balls. He'll face Johnny Bench, who is single, fly to deep right center field, and single again. John batting now .256. Bench swings and misses. Well, let's see. You run down the Reds lineup. Collins has had base hit. Kennedy's had 2. Griffey has had 2. Dreesen a hit. Bench takes it inside, 1-1. Ray Knight with 2 hits and 5 RBIs. Foster's double. Bench has had 2 hits. Concepcion a hit. All the regulars have had at least 1 hit. Bench grounds it just foul at third base. Hit it hard. Ball and 2 strikes on the Reds catcher. Friday night will officially kick off the road trip with the first of 3 in Houston. And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week will be emanating from San Francisco's Candlestick Park. Bench strikes out swinging. Strikeout number 3 for Camp. The batter will be Dave Concepcion. Davey is hit into a double play, single to score, and had a sacrifice fly to get in a run. Talking about that game tomorrow night in Indianapolis between the Reds and the Indians ticket office reports that a good supply of tickets is still available for tomorrow night's game. So for you folks in the Indianapolis area, come on out and catch the Reds and the Indians in action. Pitch to Concepcion. He got around. No, he didn't. First base umpire Steve Field says no. And we'll point out for you folks in the Indianapolis area that starting time, Indianapolis time, is 7 o'clock. Cincinnati time, an 8 o'clock start. 1 ball, 2 balls, and no strikes.
I don't care if it's
Reds leading the Braves 9-3. We're in the last half of the 6th inning. Concepcion grounds to third base. Horner to second for 1. Throw to first, a double play. Well, the Braves turned their second double play of the night. Concepcion is hit into both of them. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on. We move to the 7th. 6 up on the Braves. It's a 9-3 score. Mentioning the fact that Ray leads the National League in doubles with 22. Pete Rose, John Stearns, and Chris Chambliss tied for second with 20. Knight swings and fouls it off to the right. 1 ball and 1 strike. Knight, Foster, and Joe Nolan here in the 8th inning. Bradford with a 1-1 pitch. Knight grounds it foul to the Atlanta dugout, and boy, that baby rattled around and finally came back out. We'll be back in Atlanta, our second trip in there, immediately after the All-Star break. And the 3-day break for the All-Star game will be played in Los Angeles on the 8th of July, Tuesday night. Check swing on the pitch low, 2-2. Then Wednesday, the 9th, will be an off day. And then Thursday and Friday, the 10th and 11th, the Reds will be in Atlanta for a 2-game series. 2-2, the count on Ray Knight. He swings and hits one to third. Bob Horner up throwing, got him, one away. One down now for Foster, who has walked, fly to center, doubled and scored and drawn another walk. Officially, he's 1 for 2. Joe Nolan swinging the bat on deck as Bradford has gotten Ray Knight on a ground ball to third base. Now sends a pitch into Foster, and George takes the strike away. Most of the scoring coming early tonight. Swing and a miss. In fact, all but 2 of the runs were scored in the first 4 innings, and those 2 coming in the 7th on Ken Griffey's 7th home run of the season. 0-2 pitch. No, Foster steps away. Bradford had the big kick, and Foster timed it perfectly, stepping out, getting the time signed from Paul Pryor. There's a ball, and boy, Bill Naharodny and Larry Bradford thought that was a strikeout, and now Naharodny getting right up into Paul Pryor's face, and the plate umpire doesn't like it. He's thrown him out. Bill Naharodny committing the no-no of turning around and openly questioning a plate umpire's ball strike call, and it did not take Pryor any time to tell Bill Naharodny, hey, I'll see you later. The catcher slamming his helmet and his mask down as he, very disgruntled, heads into the Atlanta dugout. Bobby Cox is out. Larry Bradford has come in from the mound. So the Braves will have a new catcher behind the plate as Naharodny gets a heave-ho here in the 8th inning. Bradford steps onto the pitching rubber. Here's the 1-2 to the plate. Foster fouls it back. The Reds offense has really exploded in this 2-game series. 8 runs, 16 hits last night. 11 runs on 13 hits so far in this one with 2 home runs. Foster drives one into the alley in left center field. That's the gapper. Ball rattling around on the wall as George takes a turn and comes on to second base with his second double of the night. Joe Nolan steps in with George at second, 1 out. Nolan up for the first time against his former club. Done a pretty good job in the short time he's been with the club. Had a home run last Saturday afternoon here against the Cardinals. Batting .303 on the year. They are his combined numbers with the Braves and the Reds. As a Red, hitting .364 with 4 hits and 11 times up. That home run and 2 RBIs. Swing and a miss. The Reds have scored on every pitcher the Braves have used tonight, and now trying to tack one on here against the lefty Bradford. Left-hander against left-handed batter. Checking and pitching. Strike 2 call. No balls and 2 strikes. Dave Concepcion on deck. And this one is a check swing foul ball. Time to time tonight, they are putting up memorable Riverfront Stadium moments on the message board here. Of course, that 76 World Series when the Reds swept the New York Yankees after sweeping Philadelphia in the playoffs. Here's a ground ball up the middle, backhanded by Hubbard. Now the throw, safe. Foster goes to third. Nolan with an infield single. Well, it didn't get a run in, but that's got to be a pleasing call. And now Bobby Cox has come out to argue, and he has been thrown out after kicking up dirt around first base and nose-to-nose with Steve Fields. It's been a very frustrating season for Bobby and his ball club here in Cincinnati. First, Naharodny gets a gate, and now manager Cox is thrown out for arguing the call at first. And from our vantage point, it looked like it was a good call by Steve Fields. So Bobby Cox is gone. Talking about the base hit by Nolan, it didn't get a run in, but got to be satisfying to Joe to come up for the first time against his former club and get a base hit. Reds now have 15 in the game. Dave Concepcion has won a single in 3 official times up and an RBI.
Number 13, the shortstop, Dave Concepcion.
Well, we can well remember that 76 playoff when the Reds swept the Phillies. Of course, came to the 9th inning of game number 3 after having beaten the Phils 2 straight in Philadelphia. Down by 2 runs. George Foster and Johnny Bench hit home runs in the 9th off Ron Reed. Then the Reds winning the game on an infield single by Ken Griffey with Dave Concepcion scoring the winning run and on to the World Series in a 4-game sweep over Billy Martin's Yankees. Concepcion fouls it back. Of course, the World Series a year before, boy, was that something. Boston Red Sox had one game. We had all those home runs hit here. Of course, the Reds swept the playoff that year against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Davey grounds one into left field, a base hit. George Foster comes in with a 12th Cincinnati run. Well, the Braves are out away from dropping a 15-3 decision. Would be their 9th loss in 10 games against the Reds in 1980. Asselstein swings and fouls out of the mid of Nolan. Stay with us. After the game is over, Joe Nuxhall will be in the dugout with the Star of the Game program. Be a tough chore trying to decide who he's going to talk to tonight, I'll tell you. Low and outside, 1-1. Benedict has bounced to third. Blanks is struck out swinging, and Hume throws 1-1 to Asselstein. That is a bat handle foul. It will carry into the seats off to the left of the plate. The Reds will be going on the road with back-to-back wins over the Braves. Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon in Houston. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and Thursday in San Francisco. Bouncing ball slapped to first. That's going to be a foul ball. So the count holds on Asselstein. He comes back to pick up the bat. A ball, 2 strikes. Reds open with a flourish tonight with 4 in the first and 3 in the second, and close with a flourish, 2 in the 7th, 4 in the 8th. The pitch, strike 3 call, and this one belongs to the Reds. Tommy Hume sets him down in order in the 8th and the 9th. The Reds rolled in a big, big way with a 15-3 win over the Atlanta Braves. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, the Braves, as things turned out, led very briefly tonight in the first inning with 1 out. Dale Murphy hit a home run to right field, his 12th of the year, to give that club a 1-0 lead over Tom Seaver. But the Reds gave an indication of what was to come. In the bottom of the first against Rick Matula, Dave Collins led off with a base on balls. Junior Kennedy had a base hit, and Ken Griffey drew a walk to load him up. Danny Dreesen popped up the shortstop for the first out, but then Ray Knight, who in now a year and a half of starting at third base for the Reds, really seems to run in streaks. Boy, when he gets hot, he will drive in a ton of runs in a short period of time, and tonight he had what would be a good 3 or 4 days for most hitters, and he got started early in the first inning with the bases loaded. Knight swings and hits one back into deep left field, and he's got himself a grand slam home run. Ray Knight hits his second grand slam home run of 1980, and the Reds lead the Atlanta Braves 4-1. That was was a big blow in the 4-run first. Jeff Burroughs homered with 1 out in the second to make it 4-2. Back came the Reds. In the bottom of the second, they sent 8 batters to the plate. A walk to Tom Seaver, a base hit by Collins, a sacrifice by Kennedy, and then Griffey, Andreessen, and Knight all had run-producing base hits. And at the end of 2, the Reds led it 7-2. Braves got another run in the 3rd inning on 2-out singles by Murphy, Chambliss, and Matthews to make it 7-3. The Reds got that run back in the bottom of the 3rd, a single by Concepcion, a sacrifice bunt by Seaver, and a later base hit by Ken Griffey. Another run home in the 4th inning, double by Foster, single by Bench, sacrifice fly by Concepcion. The Reds struck for 2 runs in the 7th inning on a Ken Griffey 2-run home run, his 7th of the season, and giving him RBIs number 37 and 38, and then closed out with a 4-run 8th inning against Larry Bradford. George Foster had his 2nd double of the night. There was an infield single by Joe Nolan, a base hit by Concepcion to get a run in. Cesar Geronimo had an infield single, a 2-run double by pitcher Tommy Hume, and a sacrifice fly by Junior Kennedy got the 15th and final run of the night home. The Reds had 15 runs, 18 hits, no errors, and 9 left. The Braves with 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and 6 stranded. Tom Seaver, the winner. He's now 3-4. Rick Matula, the losing pitcher, his record goes to 5-6. So the Reds take them back-to-back to close out the homestand. Tomorrow night, they, of course, will be in Indianapolis to play their AAA Farm Club, and we'll be on hand with a play-by-play action. Pre-game show begins at 7:30 Cincinnati time on most of these same stations. Game time 8 o'clock, and as we mentioned earlier, Bill Bonham will be on the mound for the Reds in that one. Then on Friday night, the first of 3 big ones in the Astrodome. Frank Pastore will open up for Cincinnati in that game against Bill Verdon's division leaders, and Joe Niekro, the knuckleballer, will do the pitching for Houston at games beginning in game number 1. Before we wrap it up tonight, we, of course, have been up in the Red seats the last couple of nights, plan to be back up there in the opening game of the Houston series here on Friday night, July the 4th, and certainly have to thank a couple of people that did such a bang-up job. One of the great sports engineers of our time, Dick Moss, responsible for running all the lines and allowed us to broadcast with the folks up in the Red seats, and a great job by John Oberding turned in and keeping us abreast of all the scores around Major League Baseball. We couldn't do it without the help of a lot of people, and these 2 guys are certainly more than a little bit instrumental. We appreciate their help, and, well, we'll be up in the Red seats again on Friday night, July the 4th, when the Reds come back off the road trip, and hope for the same kind of results that we had last night and tonight, as the Reds won them back-to-back over the Braves, 8-2, and tonight 15-3 the final score. Hope you'll join us tomorrow night. Again, we'll be on the air from Indianapolis's Busch Stadium beginning at 7:30 Cincinnati time. Game time will be 8 o'clock. Again, the final score tonight in a game that took 2 hours and 27 minutes to play before a crowd of 32,603. The Reds 15 and the Atlanta Braves 3.